everyone, welcome to my first masterclass. My name is Sheena D, and today's masterclass topic is everything you need to know on how and when to charge for campaigns. Now, like I said, my name is Sheena D, and I am a beauty, fashion and lifestyle blogger on my blog called Pot of Gold, which you can find on sheenad.com, and follow me on Instagram at Miss Sheena D. I've been blogging for plus minus 3 years now on a professional level, and I've been lucky enough to work on some amazing campaigns. And of course, along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to share a few of those insights today with you so you don't have to make the same mistakes, and cover the basics of paid for campaigns. In today's masterclass, I'm going to be covering the what, who, where, when, and why of charging for paid for campaigns. First things first, you need to ask yourself, what is it that you can offer your clients? And there are about 5 things that you should be able to. Today, the world of content creation is quite saturated, but one thing you can have over the saturated market is an edge. What is something unique about you that you bring to the table? Number 2 is an authentic following. I have to bring this up because unfortunately, according to a recent article published by Hype Auditor, a large percentage of content creators in South Africa have bought a portion of their followers. And that percentage was as high as 48%. Now, brands have become more aware of this and are doing background checks. And it's really easy to go on somebody's profile and see that they have fake accounts, or most of their following and engagement is made up of fake likes and fake followers. Social platforms like Hype Auditor and Social Blade, where you can just type in an Instagram account and the basic analytics of any Instagram account is calculated, and it gives you a detailed overview of authentic engagement versus fake engagement, as well as the percentage of fake followers you have. So just don't do it. The third thing is having a good engagement rate. A good engagement rate typically for a micro influencer is 3% onwards. You should really be striving as a content creator to stay within the bracket of 4 to 7%. If you surpass 7%, that's amazing engagement. To keep within the scope of this masterclass and talk about paid for campaigns and how and when to charge for it, I'm not going to go in depth on engagement rates and following. You can find out about all of these details by Googling it, and there's a bank of information available on YouTube. The fourth thing that you need to have in order as a content creator is good visuals. Instagram is the preferred platform for influencer marketing. With that being said, Instagram is a visual platform, and everything that you create needs to be visually appealing. So you need to be able to offer your brand high quality visuals, either in picture format or video formats. Now, this only comes with practice, and it doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for 3 years, like I said, and I'm still learning every day. And it's only as you practice that you learn and pick up new tricks and new trends and grow. The fifth thing that you need to offer your brand is a media kit. Your media kit needs to spell out to your brand why you are the perfect candidate to work with. It needs to have detailed analytics of your audience that coincides with their audience. So once you have those 5 things in place and in check, you have something to offer a client. Now, the next question is, when can you start asking for payment? And does it have to do a lot with your following? I would say yes and no. I started personally earning from campaigns when I was at 4K. But also at that time that I had 4,000 followers on Instagram, even though it wasn't a lot of followers, my engagement rate was really high. I always had a well-curated media kit, which was always a strong selling point for me. It showed my clients that I was serious about what I was doing. And of course, I had authentic followers. But over and above that, I had an edge, and my edge was my website platform. Now, as you know, Instagram isn't SEO friendly, and if you had to Google something pertaining to a particular brand, you're not going to be directed to Instagram, for example, but you will be directed to websites who review a certain product. So that was my edge that I had to offer clients, and it still is. So with that being said, I would say that 4,000 followers is a good benchmark to start considering charging clients for campaigns if you have those 5 things in check, which is an edge, authentic following, a high engagement rate, a well-curated media kit, and quality-driven content. If you don't have anything of that in place, it's not the end of the world. You're probably still learning, and that's okay. If you are still in the learning phase of becoming a content creator, you should not be charging clients for campaigns. You should look to brands such as Brand Advisor, for example, or Beauty Bulletin, who offer really amazing campaigns for you to test products, review them, and create content around them. But the great thing about working with Brand Advisor is that they have perks. And if they like the content that you create and you fulfill all the requirements for the campaign, there are benefits like shopping vouchers and even cash prizes to be won. So between 0 to 4,000 followers, I would say you need to treat your content creation as a business. You need to invest time and even money, as you would any business, into content creation, whether it is going and buying a certain product and creating your own campaigns around it so you can get the attention of other brands, or have a portfolio of campaigns you have done to show your clients. So let's assume you are at 4,000 or more followers and you've ticked all the 5 boxes and you have something substantial to offer your clients for campaigns. How much do you charge for a campaign? Well, a general guideline that's used by a lot of bloggers and influencers is 10 cents for every follower. If your client requires Instagram stories on top of that, you charge separately for that. Normally campaigns run for about a month, and a client will require you to have a new post up every week for the month. If your client requires you to post on other social media platforms, you charge separately for these platforms if you are active on them. But if you're not active on them, just rather tell your client that you are not active on these platforms and therefore cannot charge. So why are you charging this amount of money for content creation? It's very important to know that once you start creating content, you will know that it's not easy to create content. It takes time, and equipment for content creation or for optimum content creation is expensive. You need lighting equipment, camera equipment, you need editing software, and all of this is money. Also, time is money. So of course you need to get paid for the content you're creating. And talking about this brings me to PR packages or trade and service exchanges. If a client requires you to make content for the press drop, you should definitely ask the client if there is available budget for this. And if there isn't, don't feel obligated to do more than an unboxing for it. If they want you to create content such as picture content or video content and post it on your Instagram, you should definitely say, well, I charge X amount of money per post. And if they're not willing to pay, say, I'm happy to accept the PR package and do an unboxing on my stories, but if you want anything further than that, you will have to pay. I think the exception to this rule is if the client is sending a high value package for something that you already use in your life. For example, something that we always use is maybe hair products. If you spend about 2,000 Rand a month on hair products and your client is sending you 2,000 Rand worth of hair products, then that's a decent exchange. And then I would say a trade for exchange is worth it, or a service exchange. So if you do want a certain procedure done and a salon is offering it to you in exchange for an Instagram post, it needs to be in line with your rates or to the value of your rates. So just say you charge 1,000 Rand per Instagram post, then the service that you should be receiving from the salon should be actually more than 1,000 Rand, because you should be reimbursed for your petrol to travel to the salon. These are things you need to think about. But in all honesty, I think as content creators, this is the struggle we have the most. It's just about setting your boundaries. If you are offering value-packed content creation, a good paying client is going to value that. and you will get paid. That brings me to the mistakes I've made as a content creator. Trial campaigns. Now, even though I've had a good portfolio of work, every now and then some client or brand comes to me, and after I've sent them my media kit, they hit me back with, well, we'd like to try you out for a month, and after that we will see whether we will work with you or not. Do not fall for this gimmick at all. 100% of the time, and I've heard many bloggers go through this, clients or brands do not come back to you to pay for work. They've already got what they wanted out of you from this campaign, and they don't need anything else for a while from you. So always get paid. A good way to reply to a client requesting that you work with them on a trial basis, if you are an established content creator already and have a portfolio of work, you can simply redirect them to the work you have done that's similar and say, unfortunately, I don't do trial campaigns because I have a portfolio of work you can look through for reference with detailed analytics on my media kit. Do not give into that trial campaign. It's not worth it, because a lot of the time these brands expect a lot of content creation from you. Another mistake I've made is not being clear with the kind of trade exchange I've received from a client. And by that I mean sometimes clients send you almost close to expiry date product. Sometimes they send you samples, and sometimes they even send you discontinued items. The good thing about having a website platform is that sometimes working with popular brands that have a high rate of search on Google is that I can make money by writing a blog through AdSense on my website for that product exchange. So I, every now and then, do accept a cult beauty product. Sometimes a client can take advantage of you and send you discontinued items, which is of no use to my blog or my Instagram account. You specify to your client you don't want expired products, you don't want discontinued products, and you don't want sample products, because that's not going to help you with your content creation in any way. Because it is really awkward once you received a discontinued item or an expired product to then go back to a client and tell them there's an issue. A lot of the time these clients ghost you and just ignore your request. That's happened to me, and it's just not ethical from their point of view. But as much as I'm saying this, it's happened a few times, not a lot of times. There will always be those clients trying to take a chance. That being said, most of my clients have been wonderful clients. Other mistakes I've made is be really careful with what brands you align yourself with, and what campaigns you take that aren't paying versus paying campaign. Sometimes it just so happens that you take a home testing club campaign where you don't get paid for it, but you test a particular brand which may be in conflict with the brand who wants to work with you that's actually a paying client. That has legit happened to me, but lesson learned, I won't be doing that anytime soon. My advice for content creation on your Instagram, for example, if you're waiting for those paid for campaigns, which are a bit slower now due to COVID, you rather generically put out content and not really associate yourself with any particular brand in general. So with that being said, it can be a bit tricky with working with certain brands, and you only learn along the way, and sometimes you can't avoid everything that happens. All you can do is try your best in forming professional relationships with PR companies, influencer agencies, and brands over time. It's very important from a content creator perspective to always never let your guard down with regards to payment. And if a client doesn't want to pay you, they're just not going to be getting your value added content that you can provide them with. And honestly, that is their loss. So you shouldn't feel bad about it. I guarantee there will be 10 more brands willing to work with you for every brand that says no. You just have to be able to go out there and seek those campaigns because they are available. My personal advice as a content creator is always look at ways in which you can monetize and make money from your social media content. Especially now that it is COVID, campaigns are a bit slow and companies aren't spending so much money on marketing as they would usually. It helps to have another platform where you can generate an income, such as a website where you can generate income through AdSense, or a YouTube channel also where you can generate income through AdSense. The good thing about Instagram is that they are monetizing IGTV, but it's only said to roll out in 2021. And in South Africa, normally when Instagram rolls out something, we get it quite late, so we'll probably see it towards the middle or end of 2021. My little tip is to start generating IGTV content at least once a week. By the time IGTV monetization has been rolled out, you are able to rake in money through that medium on Instagram. Another tip I can give you is to make a list of all the brands you want to work with, because firstly, it's impossible to work with all the brands, and you shouldn't be working with every single brand that approaches you and comes your way. You should have a niche sort of approach to working with brands. For example, if you're a beauty content creator, maybe you only work with cruelty-free brands or vegan brands or gluten-free brands. So there's definitely a list associated to these brands. It definitely helps to minimize excessiveness, yet increase the quality that you are offering to your audience. I definitely have a list. I'm still working on that list. I don't accept PR packages for the sake of accepting PR packages from a lot of brands. Also, as an audience looking at your content, it definitely helps to be associated with the same brands continuously, so people know that you are the go-to person for that brand. So I would definitely say be more elite with your content creation. Start being selective and saying no a lot more if it doesn't fit into your scope. All in all, to summarize, the influencer as well as the clients both have important roles to play in any campaign. Have detailed conversations with your clients on the regular on what you can offer them, on what they want, and if you are delivering on what they want. So just to summarize today's masterclass with Candy & Co. on how and when to charge for campaigns. Treat your first 4,000 followers as an internship. Invest in your business as a content creator. Once you've reached 4,000 followers and ticked the 5 boxes of authentic following, having an edge over your competition, having a well-curated media kit, having a high engagement rate, and a high standard of visuals to offer your clients, definitely start charging your client at 10 cents per follower on the Instagram platform. And remember the mistakes I made so you don't have to make them when accepting PR packages, trade and service for exchanges, as well as checking on the type of product that you are receiving from clients. Make sure everything is honest and transparent on your media kit, but most of all, don't forget to have fun as a content creator. If you have the opportunity, make the most of it. I hope that you enjoyed my masterclass today and I've answered all your questions. If you have any further questions, you are free to DM me on my Instagram account, which is @MachinaD. Thank you for joining me.